Shit, it's rolling. It's freezing cold and snowing again in the UK, but it doesn't matter because we're inside the workshop, although I may occasionally get dripped on. But in today's video, guys, we are going to be drilling out the rear end and cutting out the rear end of the GT4. So this little tool here is going to be used a lot. The aim here is to carefully remove the spot welds from the right hand side panel because this panel isn't actually damaged. So what I'm doing here is just grinding off all the seam sealer that goes over the welds so then I can drill them out with the drill and then we can carefully remove that panel without damaging anything. Oh, and then I decided to actually just cut it out. So as you can see, I've actually cut a section of the boot floor out, and that is the reason I did that is because obviously this bit is scrap, but it attaches to part of the body which isn't scrap. Now I don't want to damage any of this, so I thought if I just take the pressure away of the damaged section and then it leaves me with like a nice free little bit just to be able to chisel off and not impact anything else. I mean, it made sense in my head. So I've actually ordered an air chisel which should be here tomorrow, and I'm going to use that to obviously then chisel out this panel and hopefully be able to just remove this from here and all around the back here without it affecting anything else. So moving on to this section, now this is where it gets a bit tricky, and that's because my new panels haven't turned up yet, so I don't know where they're going to attach. I don't know how much comes with what. I don't know what comes with what. So with taking this apart, I don't know what to take off or what to cut out. So that is where I'm a bit stuck. Now before we continue, I just want to give a massive thanks to CarVertical who have kindly sponsored today's video. Now my GT4 is actually recorded as a category S car, which means structural damage. Now you're meant to disclose that when you're selling a car, but some people don't, and that is where CarVertical can help you out because it will find out if it is Cat S and it will tell you. So let's look at my GT4 overview, and you can see the accident highlighted at the top straight away as this vehicle was damaged. Now scrolling down, we can have a look at the mileage. We can see a nice steady increase of it throughout its life, giving you confidence that it hasn't been clocked before. And if we scroll down to damage, we can see that it was recording November 2022 as a category S write-off. So it wasn't that long ago, and that check was performed in the UK. And if we scroll down, you can see the exact date it was written off. So if we look for another GT4 for sale, we can see we found one on Auto Trader. It's also a Cat S. And we get the registration from the pictures. We'll put it in CarVertical, and as an example, we'll have a look at the history of this one. And as you can see, straight away it comes up with accidents, but mileage, theft and finance are all clear. So let's just scroll down. We can actually see that the car, we know the car's on a private plate just by looking at it, but we can actually see also what the original plate number is here. So that'll be useful for anyone who wants to search the registration, the older registration, for any potential previous damage as well. And we can see there, look, where it's gone back to its current private plate. Now we can see that the mileage is all good, nice steady increase. And we can see there our damage in 2018. This was a category S write-off, and that check was performed in the UK, and that is where it found the damage. And as you can see, look, got the exact date of July 2018. So when you're looking to buy your next car or just want information on the car you currently own, don't forget to use CarVertical. Click the link in my description and use my discount code for 10% off. So massive thanks to CarVertical for sponsoring today's video. So what I might do is just get the grinder and cut out this quarter panel, just the skin, take the skin off so we can have a better understanding of what panels are attached where and how, and then maybe I can just start taking off the obvious damaged bits. Yeah, I mean, that's the best I can really offer at the moment. Without these new panels, it's just really hard to tell what is attached to where, because, for example, you've got rivets along here. So is it attached to here? Or you've also got rivets along here, so does it all come, is this just a one piece or does it come down and attach to here? They're the questions I need answers to, and I don't have the answers to at the moment. And also I don't want to spend hours trying to remove certain parts when I just realised I could have just cut the whole lot out in a one foul sweep. So yeah, it's a bit tricky at the minute. Right, I'm making some progress, starting to get down to the body parts to see what I need. Yeah, and it's still quite difficult. I'll put screenshots up of the parts available to buy, and that's what I'm kind of using at the minute to see what I need to remove / cut out. So this part is fairly straight cut, straightforward. It's literally just welded onto this wheel arch bit here, and it only goes from to here over to that join there. So it's quite a simple piece, that bit. We need this part here, which I think from the picture joins roughly here. So whether we join it here or I don't know, but that's that bit that comes down to here and goes around here. We've got our wheel arch, which is, because there's two pieces. I've just drilled a hole there to see if it's double skinned, and it is. So you've got a bit that goes on top of, oh, it's quite complicated, but you've got this bit here, look, basically, which goes on top of the wheel arch, and then you've got the part under it, which is actually all this box section here. It's all of this bit. I mean, that's how the picture's reading anyway. The only thing I was a little bit unsure of is this gully, because it's hard to tell. So you've got this bit here, look, this bit here that goes all the way up to there, and is it bolted on? No, I don't think it's bolted on. I think that's just a bolt. So, but this section here I cannot see on the diagram anywhere, so I didn't know if it was a separate part or not, or if it came with one of these parts, either this or the wing. So yeah, that's something else I'm unsure of. So I don't want to start cutting things in the wrong place. This is pretty easy. So our chassis leg, which is bent, that literally joins here. You can see where it's actually a join anyway, so that should be pretty simple just to cut out. And then yeah, we've got our floor pan and our back plate here. So I'm still waiting on my air chisel, so I don't want to take all that out until that turns up. Same with all these. I might start just see if I can grind the heads off of these so they come off nice and easy tomorrow. But yeah, very hard to do when I don't know or don't have my new panels. Right, here we go. Massive progress. The whole rear quarter is now off. I have hit a bit of a, well, I say a bit, it's quite a big stumbling block. I will explain that in a second. But the chassis leg is off, and you can see it's actually a factory join. So the leg that I've bought actually bolts to this inner chassis leg, if you will, here, and it literally just welds on here. And as you can see, look, this bit is not damaged at all. So that is literally just going to be a straight swap, new part on there for the chassis leg. Everything else I've just cut off because I don't know how far back we need to replace things until the new parts turn up. However, the one big problem I've got is this gully here, which I mentioned earlier. I have now found it on Etka. It's not available anywhere in the world, and there isn't an update until April about its potential supply either. Now, this bit of gully here, it literally just goes back up and it joins at the roof. I think it might even go a little bit further than the roof. But yeah, it's not available anywhere in the world until at least April. And that's just an update in April as well. They could just say, no, can't get it. So I'm not too sure. I mean, it's not even that badly damaged. It's just a bit twisted. So I don't know if we're going to have to try and find a way of fixing this, straightening it so it can be used again. That may be our only option. So I'm really glad I didn't cut it off now, because obviously I didn't want to cut it until I knew what was going on. So that's a good shout. Now let's move on to the drive shaft issue, and it has become a big issue. It's actually the reason this video has taken so long to come out. So this one here, this back one, is the one off the right hand side. So that is our original fully functioning drive shaft. This drive shaft here is one that I bought. Now it come off a 718 GT4, and as I've bought loads of other parts that have come off 718s, and everything's been absolutely fine, including the hub. So I'm pretty sure this actually came off the same car. So the same hub that this would slot into is on my car. So I just thought, yeah, it'll be the same. Everything else has been the same. Job done. However, it's very slightly different. Now, if you look here, you can see the difference straight away. It's a bit thinner in this middle bit than it is here, but that is not the only difference. So if we put them like this. So I don't know if it's obvious on camera, but this drive shaft is ever so slightly bigger than this one, and I'm talking about 2 millimeters bigger. I have no idea why, but it is about 2 millimeters bigger, and for that reason, obviously the holes don't line up properly and I can't get the screws in, so I cannot use that drive shaft. And that means I've got to be very specific with the drive shaft that this car needs. I can't just buy any old one, it has to be very specific. So there's none others for sale online at all secondhand. I went to Porsche and I got quoted £900. You can't buy the parts separately, so obviously I need the outer CV. Can't buy it separately, you have to buy the whole thing. Yeah, so 900 quid. But a lot of you guys said in the other comments as well about getting the broken one that I bought accidentally repaired instead. So that is exactly what I've done. And that is why this video has taken so long to come out, because I sent it away and I was waiting for it to come back. It has just come back. I've put it down somewhere. Where have I put it? So if this works, this is going to turn out to be actually pretty good, because it will be, I paid 85 quid for this broken. That other the 718 drive shaft, I paid 470 for, and this has cost me £210 to be repaired. So plus your 85, just under 300 quid. So if this works, I've actually done all right in the end. Nice. Lovely jubbly. I don't know why, but I've gone for a matte black drive shaft. Don't know if they just do that just so it looks better, but I'm now matte black. However, if this is he's even cleaned me thread up, because if you remember, I was absolutely hammering the hell out of this thread, so they fully cleaned that up for me, so that's good. Ah, lovely job. Right, now that should be spot on, this. Come on, get it. So now I've finally got my drive shaft. I'm just going to fit the whole thing, get everything back together so we can drive out of the workshop. And this is just me putting all the drive shafts back in, all the suspension arms that we've replaced, and getting the offside drive shaft in as well, putting everything back in. And also I'm filling up with 3 litres of gearbox oil, which I did off camera. So we are ready to go for a start and hopefully a drive out the workshop. I've just opened the door. I've left the car on charge overnight, so we should be good there. I've put just under 3 litres of gearbox oil back in. I've had a haircut, so we are good to go. Fingers crossed she starts fine. I think she should be fine on that front. But it's the driving out of the workshop and get some proper nice pictures, and we'll show you the back end. And also I don't have any brakes because the brake line is actually snapped off on the near side rear, which means I can't put any brake fluid in the system, which means I have no brakes whatsoever. I have just connected because the parking brake on this is electronic. I have just connected the motor back up on the offside rear, so I'm hoping it will still work just on that one side. So if I do need to stop for any reason, I'm hoping I can just pull the button up and it'll work. So yeah, come on, let's go, let's get out of the workshop and see what she looks like. Very loud. So yeah, that was ridiculously loud. A few problems. I can't put the handbrake on at all, and also I've just realised I've got no brake fluid, which means I potentially will have no clutch either. I've got clutch at the minute, but I don't know how long for. So this could be a bit of a disaster because the ground outside isn't flat. So if I start rolling downhill, I've got no way of stopping myself. So yeah. Oh, let's just send it. See what happens. Yeah, so great news, I didn't crash. I managed to, as soon as I got out, it's a bit of a downhill slope, so I managed to put it in reverse and just basically use the clutch on reverse to slow myself down to a stop. I'm just gonna go put this block under it now to stop it rolling. It's rolling. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. Right, so now she's all outside for the first time, and it drove, by the way, so it drove absolutely fine. I've still obviously got fluid in the clutch, so we didn't have any problems there. Definitely didn't have any brakes. I did actually try crimping the brake pipe, which is in there broken, but I think all the fluid's gone. They didn't do anything. But I don't know, what do you think to the wheels now? Now the car's obviously outside and sat on the wheels properly. I still think they're really good. I was quite surprised about the amount of people that said they didn't like the wheels, but I think they look really good in person. No, I'm really happy with those. So yeah, see the car for the first time. Looks good from this angle, it looks complete. The next thing we need to do now is obviously you need to wait for parts to come in. I will just go to the tally up on the board what we've spent up to date, and I won't quote all the parts for this until I've got an exact figure. I have bought and paid for them. It is around £5,500 of the parts I've had to order, but I don't necessarily need all of them, so that may be subject to change, but it's circa £5,500 of panels. What else we got? So there's nothing more I can really do until they turn up. I have the R8 to work on. I've got the M2 to do a video on as well. And also I bought another car, which I may reveal if I'm still stuck and waiting for parts on this, if it's been like a week or two. So yeah. Also as well, I need to be careful with the angle because that new car that I haven't revealed is directly behind my neck. So I'm just gonna actually change it. There we go, that's better. Also, do you remember about 18 months ago, I said on Instagram, I don't know if I said it on YouTube or not, I actually ordered the new 8Y RS3. I did it a couple of weeks before the massive price increase when they went up £3,000. This was in October 2021. That car has actually finally turned up and I'm actually picking it up today. So I will do a video on that. So that will be there to come as well. But for the next sort of week or two, that'll be it on the GT4. Let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comments and how you think the project is going so far. And also, more importantly, how do you think it's going to end up? Because we're over halfway because we've done the mechanical bit, but we are halfway on the bodywork. And yeah, the hardest bit is yet to come. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for following the GT4 so far. It will commence in a few weeks, as I mentioned. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.